Hey guys, Paul Cradle here. So I'm just gonna kind of do a random talk here while looking at the ceiling. Um, Pretty decorative ceiling. Miles Gray has commented on it many times, but that's mostly what he sees when we call. So uh, I want to talk about the job market. See, guys, ever since I graduated from university, which was like over 20 years ago, uh, the only thing the world has ever done for me is basically blink at me and say, "What are you going to do?" Okay, so you've got this big world that has all the power, all the jobs, controls all the resources, allocates everything, and they just turn to a young man who has nothing and doesn't know what to do, and all the entire system can do is blink at him and say, "What are you going to do?" They have everything. Young men don't. And then they ask him what he's going to do. Okay, so studying a computer science degree, say from 1999 to about 2003, has got to be one of the biggest crocs that has ever existed in the history of crocs thrown at young men. And I hear about this, it kind of makes me feel a little bit better that I'm still hearing about this recently. I think there was something on PBS NewsHour, if I'm not mistaken, which I probably am mistaken, but there was something about saying how they were tracking a young man who had done something like written what's that game that has the little bombs, Minesweeper. So he made a Minesweeper game and he did little projects like that, and he thought that he was going to get a job in computer science. Now granted, I could probably do a little bit more than that. If I put my mind to it, I might even be considered smart, but I have never worked in the field, and I've only been asked what I'm going to do. And the only out that I ever found, which you have to find an out, uh, unless you really just want to suffer away somehow or go to graduate school. Anyway, what I found was, which Miles Gray similarly found, was teaching English as a second language in Asia, and I was willing to go. So that's what I could do. Now, granted, yeah, I don't think very highly of that position, mostly. And most students and people in Asia do not think very highly of it. But it's a tricky trade off because it's something you can do. And as a young man who's never been anywhere and never done anything, there's a ton of personal development and experience that can take place during. And so you can develop a lot as a person. I mean, it might be kind of like they said in the old days, character builder. Although it doesn't have to be. It very well also can double as a drinking holiday and quite an excursion and a lot of woohoo if you want it that way. And why wouldn't you? I mean, why not? So I drank a lot and I partook in things and, had a time, but I sure did suck as a teacher. And there is no stability on my resume at all. The only thing is, that's the kind of thing where for a long time you could just keep getting jobs and keep sucking and keep having a good time and trying to have a good time. Sometimes coming back home for a little bit and then resolving to do it again and blah, blah, blah. And it's just, after a while, it's like, 10, 15, almost 20 years gone. I'm trying to think. Yeah, it must have been about 15 years gone before I kind of entered the situation that I'm in now, in my new life era, which basically involves, being settled down at least to a family and a consistent home base, which doesn't necessarily mean going back home to parents, And yeah, I'm in Asia, but I'm not teaching English, and it's not East Asia. And so, although, I mean, it's Southeast Asia, but it's the Philippines. I'm in the Philippines. Anyway, guys, Philippines gave me a life that I wouldn't have, certainly, in the US. Although, for the time being, it is certainly not worth it to seek work or to work in the Philippines. So I am still kind of greeted with this situation where the world blinks and asks, "What are you going to do?" When it's the world that has the jobs, it makes me wonder if removing myself from the job-seeking situation and the problem-solving stance, what is there to do? Like, hello world, what work do you have to be done? So when it's the weirdest situation that we have all these able-bodied or intelligent young men without anything for them to do. Yet the whole world looks at them and says, "What are you going to do?" And it's considered some kind of greatest gift in the world to give a young man something to do. Because otherwise, there's nothing for them to do. So it's the weirdest thing. It's like how, paradoxically, you can be dirt poor and 400 pounds overweight. Well, nowadays, you can be perfectly capable of working somehow, and there just simply isn't anything for you to do except be asked, "What are you going to do?" That's all they do to a young man. What are you going to do? The stock market is high. The boomers are retiring. The economy is great. We're living it up. But there is nothing for the young men to do. Nothing to do. We're so well off. There's nothing left to be done. What work is there left to do in America? Nothing. It's all done. There is nothing to do in America today but twiddle your thumbs and be asked, What are you going to do? Because there is no answer. Obviously, what you're going to do is get a job if there is one. Duh. What else did they think you're going to say? What are you going to do is never a problem if there are jobs. It's never a problem during a boom time. But now, there's nothing to do. And that's all we're facing. There is no work to do. Being able to even be considered for a job is now considered a gift to you. It's, you would think that a job is something you give, not something you get, because if you're doing the work, you're giving the job, right? But it's reversed to where somehow the people who have all the resources and can have the ability to allocate all the resources and powers that we have, they don't need anything. If you have the money and power, you don't need anyone to work for you. So why would you? What you have all the money and power, so what do you need the young men to do for you? Nothing. You have all the money and the power, so why would you allocate anything to young men? So I think they should burn it all down. Good job, Kimberly Clark Luigi. There's no work to do. Burn it all down. I mean, not literally, but just strike. But, if you ever, in retrospect, if you've ever done anything like that, I'm more like, hey, man, great job. Burn it down. In retrospect, I'm not encouraging anyone to do that in the future. Of course, no, don't do that. But if you did, good job. Love you. There's no work to do, people. There is no work to do. So stop trying to do it. Just don't work. If you can help it at all, just don't. Just don't. Just wait till there's work to do. Wait till you get the power. Wait till they're afraid of the masses of people who have nothing to do. You just wait. Things are going to turn around. And they're losing power. They're not going to have the power. It'll be like, well, boomers are dying everywhere, left and right. The gerontocracy is waning. There's going to be a young president. There's going to have to be. And we're going to start picking up again. Birth rate is going to have to start rising. But yeah, I just don't know what I'm supposed to do and never have. In a world that claims to have work to be done, they've proven me wrong. Don't listen to what they say. Listen to what they do. Is there any motive? Has there ever been a motive to give me a job? Take my loser search out of the picture. Look at the big picture. Look at what's going on. Look at the motives and incentives. Why would they? And that's fair to ask. Why would anyone hire me? Why? And then it's not me. It's not me. It's just the question in general. Why would anyone hire me? It doesn't have a strong answer in America, and hasn't since before 2003 even. There's no strong answer to why you should be hired, because there's just less and less work to be done. It's not you. If you don't have a job, it's not you. People were always given jobs. They didn't produce their own jobs. Now they act like you have to be so good that you create your own job. No. There has to be a need that they want filled. I do not look at myself as some kind of loser who couldn't get a job. I don't think of it that way at all. And actually, I'm glad and grateful for the life experiences that I've had resulting from that. I mean, mostly in retrospect. I didn't like it at the time always, but I can't say I've been better off. I mean, there's no one way to measure it. You can't. I just can't tell. But it seems like people are doing worse and worse off these days. Anyway, if I had figured some way to burrow my way into the system, it would have been under ever continually worse and worse conditions of work. There may have been a layoff that would have devastated me. There's so many divorces in the US that are just nasty. If I had been married in the US, it could have very easily resulted in a nasty divorce and child support situation, which is common these days. Just hell. And now I'm seeing that the food prices are just sky high. And here in the Philippines, I mean, we don't really have that problem. Like, there's so much food all around that it's hard for prices to go up. It's kind of like, first shall be last, last shall be first, kind of like that. I'm lucky. But I feel for my brothers back in the US. And, it's only by the grace of God that I'm here. I'm thankful for everything. But because, I realize everybody's totally dependent. You can't self-determine your way. No. No matter how much I would have wanted to go, say, teach English in Asia in the early 2000s, I could not have done that if they were not like, yeah, sure, come. You're totally dependent on somebody to say, yeah, sure, you're hired. And you can't make that happen yourself. Which is just a plot line. It's a concept that has just been totally lost when applied to young men. You have to give them work to do. You can't just ask them, what are you going to do? You have to identify something for them to do. Is there work to do? Identify the work to do. Tell them they could do it. Offer them the job. Do not ask a young man, what are you going to do? Tell him what there is to be done. and ask him if he would like to take part in doing said work to be done. What needs to be done is the question that you answer for the young man. You should know more than he does if you're already out in the world. Why don't you tell him what there is to be done? Because young men have never just decided what they're going to do. It may have seemed like that during times when you would most likely just find something, some work to do, when there was work to do. You could just ask the young man, which of the many opportunities available out there would you like to do? But nowadays, when they ask a young man, what are you going to do? They kind of already know there's nothing to be done. And you're just basically saying, you're effed, young man, and we don't know what to tell you. They're just offloading. They're offloading all of the problem onto the young man as if things were fine before he got here. We're fine. What's he going to do? Well, you don't deserve to have a society. If you can't tell the young man what there is to do, your society is effed. Not the young man. Because they're young and resilient. You, the rest of the society, is holding on. And, well, look at how empires fall. Don't ask me what I'm going to do. I have never known. I never know. You know, a plan, the concept of a plan, it's a myth. As soon as there are open jobs, people don't refer to their plan. They just get the job. Anybody who has a variety of open jobs to get doesn't worry about their plan. You just do the work and you get your pay and you either blow it or you build something substantial. Up to you. But you can't make your job.